Domenico Dragonetti was a virtuoso double bass soloist. He came from Venice and took the double bass possibility to greater heights. He met Beethoven, for example, and Haydn, and up until then, bass lines used to just be an echo of the cello line, not an individual line. But when Dragonetti performed to Beethoven to show him what the double bass could do, suddenly we were given individual, independent bass lines. This instrument was left to Prince Albert in Domenico Dragonetti's will in 1846. Before Dragonetti owned it, it was owned by the celebrated English bass singer Bartleman. It's wonderful to have even that little bit of lineage about the instrument, because quite often these days you only know very, very little. It made absolute sense for Dragonetti to leave it to Prince Albert because he played on this instrument to him in a concert that was part of a series called The Concerts of Ancient Music that was directed by Prince Albert. It's a very curious instrument that doesn't really fit into any particular box. It clearly comes from the violin family, which is the very beautiful rounded shaped shoulders and the lower body. It's too big to be a cello, it's too small to be a double bass. The double bass family comes from the viol family, which predates the violin family. So the closest we could really call it is a basse de violon, i.e. a double bass, but from the violin family.
The aim of the restoration of this instrument was mainly to make it playable in a very immediate future. We had to make sure that all the old joints and fractures were glued up. Although no major cosmetic restoration has been undertaken, we've made sure that it was in absolute perfect playing condition. We also had to create a new spike for the instrument. We've also changed the top nut, the ebony nut at the top of the fingerboard. The old nut had very low grooves, which meant that the top part of the string were in contact with the fingerboard, which means that as the string was being put in vibration with the bow, the string would be in contact in multiple places on the fingerboard, which would therefore create some what we call buzzes sound, and we wouldn't have a clear note coming out. We've also had to do the standard setup with the bridge, the new soundpost, which is a piece of spruce inside the belly of the instrument that is fitted top and bottom to just behind the bridge to the back of the instrument and transmit the sound waves and project the sound out of the instrument. And of course, we have to have some custom-made gut strings to stay as original as possible to the instrument.
There is a spurious label inside that is dedicated to Guarneri, who was a very well-known Italian maker of the highest echelons. Although there are hints around the F-holes that show a little bit of English in them by the great maker Lott, with a little bit of influence that could be German as well, because of just the size of the F-holes. But when you hear the body of it, I mean, the actual body of the instrument is a beautiful sounding instrument. It actually operates at a pitch, which is, in fact, cello pitch. We call that 8-foot pitch. If you think of an organ pipe with all the different lengths of pipes, the 8-foot pipe is the pitch of a cello. The 16-foot pipe is the pitch of a double bass. Now, this basse de violon is at the 8-foot pitch, so that's probably why Dragonetti also referred to it as his violoncello. Prince Albert gave the instrument to be used by Queen Victoria's band, which up until this point was a wind band, which was a very popular kind of band to have, dating right back to Mozart's day, in fact. So when Prince Albert gave the bass to Queen Victoria's band, it helped to expand the repertoire immediately by involving stringed instruments. I think it's only fair, because I'm going to be playing without any accompaniment, that I should play something that Dragonetti himself wrote.